Hello to all the Scyan Nation out there and Merry Christmas! And welcome to the game of... I mean the movie award, sorry. The most trustworthy show you have ever seen and totally not rigged based on one opinion, which is mine. Only mine. Let's talk about the best villains in 2024. The villains in movies and shows that were truly memorable and were returning this year. Or they left a great impact on the viewers and became iconic. Or let's just be real for a second. Most of the movies this year, they just suck. They were like some of the biggest piece of garbage, trash, rotten egg, disgusting, huge trash pile of garbage. Horrible. Kung Fu Panda 4, Madame Web, Craven, Joker, Borderlands, Mufasa, Moana 2, Acolyte. Wow, wait a second. It's kind of funny how most of these are directly connected to Disney. What the f are y'all even doing anymore? Making stuff for money, of course. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So it was really hard for me to find out the best villains in this year because most of them, either the movies didn't even really have a villain or they were just garbage. But as the Jeff of this award show, I have confidence in the list I have made for this video. Let's start with my personal most favorite villain, Megatron. Now, I have not watched any of the older Transformers TV shows, nor have I read any of the comics. I've only watched the Bayverse movies, and based on how mid those movies are story-wise, I was expecting this show to be like, kind of fun, but also just mid, nothing like crazy, amazing, impressive, or just extremely cool. But oh boy, not knowing how good the Transformers lore can be made this movie like 100 times more fun. I remember how shocked I was when watching this masterpiece, not because of just the crazy, beautiful, and colorful visuals, especially Optimus Prime's huge lips. Just staring, looking at that mouth on him, I wonder why he even needs a mouth for, and then I'm like... But like this movie, man, this was genuinely such a blast to watch from the start right till the end of it. The writing in it is phenomenal, and I personally love it when the villains in our stories are directly connected to our heroes in a super emotional level, making both the villain and the hero constantly develop each other as a person, changing one another. And Megatron, this guy, he might be one of my new personal favorite villains, I'm not gonna lie. Not only want more movies with him, and not only kinda might be maybe love him, but honestly would even marry him with his massive, long, huge gun. Something that Transformers 1 is a master of is character development and transition. The entire story and movie is focused on constantly evolving both Orion Pax and D16. Both of them started as simple random miners with nothing too special about themselves. But every minute of this movie, they kept changing the characters and evolving them into becoming Optimus Prime and Megatron. But this change didn't only happen story-wise either. You can see their personality fully changing, their voice, the way they speak, and even the colors of the characters too. Like for example, the more villainy and evil Megatron becomes, the more his eyes turn red. While on the other side, the more Optimus Prime proved himself to be a caring and a loving leader. The more colorful he looks, and more heroic and crazy and just powerful looking. That already right there, that's like pure peak cinema. Like that is just one of the best moments of 2024. If just Disney, learn a little bit. Look at this. This is how design characters, especially villains. This is how you do it. Learn, please. But there is one even more important thing about Megatron that makes him such a good villain. Well, you see, evolving as a villain is pretty cool, especially when, as I said, it's connected to the hero. But most of the time, the character evolutions can either feel rushed or fake or just not done well. But the writers are so good at this movie, none of those issues happened here. And this is exactly what happens when you don't use ChatGPT to write the script of your movies.
Wow. This is garbage.
D16 heavily believed in Sentinel Prime. He was even the biggest fan of that guy, following every single protocol and rules and having hope that one day Sentinel will save them all. But over and over again, the poor guy was kept being shown how he's living in a lie this whole time. Sentinel is a terrible, disgusting guy. He killed all of the primes and I feel bad for it. But here's the thing about this. D16 believed in the Sentinel more than anyone else. He did his best to always follow the rules and do his job. Of course, Optimus would not be affected by this in a bad way when he always wanted to prove people how he's more than just a miner. But on the other side, D16 was fine with being one. He was fine with the life he had only because he believed in the Sentinel. So, like, it makes the most sense for the man who his biggest hero in his entire life turned out to be the biggest villain to ever exist. It would pretty much make anyone anyone go mad, crazy, grab any gun, whatever, just go smack whoever is like their hero or whatever, they're not gonna kill. They're gonna beat you. They're gonna smack you. They're gonna do exactly rip you in half the way he did it. That's exactly why he goes like,
"No, I want to kill him! I want to put Sentinel in chains and march him through the mines so everyone can see him for the false prime that he is!"
And also why he betrays Optimus Prime in the end, saying how he's done saving this guy. Because not only the truth has made this poor guy not be able to trust anyone anymore, I feel bad for him. Oh, poor guy. But also he accepted and allowed rage and anger to take over him, control and guide his actions, leading into why his eye colors change into red. That's basically the representation of him evolving into Megatron. The transition in this movie and how just the villain was handled in it, it's just so good, man. I just can't wait for a sequel on the rest of his story. Oh. Now the second award of the best villain in 2024 goes to Homelander from The Boys Season 4. Do I even need to explain this one? Y'all already know him and you already know how he do be carrying The Boys show, just like how Omni-Man be carrying The Invincible. But Homelander has just been at his best, especially within this 4th season. I probably can't even show much footage here because I'm gonna get clapped and smacked with a huge massive fist of demonetization from YouTube. But this season was super focused on building Homelander even more as a character, explaining to us why he acts this way, why he's so weird and evil, or even why he takes so much pleasure into people's suffering. This guy was treated like a lab rat as a kid, and not just in any normal or just like lower level way anyways, or just like pulling back. What am I even saying? I have no idea, but basically they threw him into an oven and turned on the oven to cook the Homelander. Oh my god. Homelander is one of the weirdest, yet also the scariest villains to ever exist, especially thanks to the insane acting done by Anthony Starr. His interactions, disappointments, or manipulations with his son were also some of the best moments in this show. He's a terrible father, but he's trying not to be a terrible father, which is really interesting to me. The third award of this award show goes to Penguin from The Penguin Show. Just like Transformers 1, I was not expecting this show to be like a masterpiece, something amazing, crazy fun to watch, really well written. I was like, it's gonna be good, maybe fun. This right here might be one of the best shows I have ever seen in my entire life. This show makes you love Oz, then hate him, onto loving him and wanting him to succeed, onto hating him again, then starting to kind of feel bad for him, hating him again and wanting him to die, then again wanting him to be successful somehow, then the emotional roller coaster that this show was, constantly making me change my mind on the characters and how I see them. This thing right here wants to be a smart and tricky crime show. And you just know that the show and its writers were cooking when the show was not just like tricking the characters inside of it, bringing up like master crazy plans, but the plans and the tricks actually trick you as a viewer too. Oz keeps telling you how much he loves his mother and how he would just do anything for her, or how everything he has ever done is for his mother. Then the single wish his mother had, which I don't really want to spoil it, he didn't do it. He didn't listen to the one thing his mother wanted him to do. That's crazy. That made me depressed. Then he keeps talking about the smaller people, what is rightfully theirs, how they need to get this thing from the big thick boys for themselves and everything like that. Well, in the end of the day, you see that it's all just a trick. Everything this man says, like, it might be true, it might not be true. There is no way you can understand him. He's actually so smart, which is crazy. Then there is one more thing that happened at the end of this show, which makes me kind of respect this character as a villain, but also want to kill him and turn him into a billion pieces. And also, one more thing I love about this show and its villain. It's how everything that happens in this show just feels so genuine. It makes you kind of feel like the characters in it are real people and nothing just ever feels fake in it. Like when someone is hurt in this show, you can feel the pain with them. When the penguin lies and manipulates someone, you also get manipulated too because of just how believable he sounds. And when this genius of a guy comes up with a plan to run from death and save himself, which happens a lot in this show. The plans he comes up with are just so big brain. The only thing that feels fake about them is like, how can someone be so smart? How can you be like come up with these crazy ideas? How? Impossible. Or am I just dumb? So that was probably one of the best villains to ever exist. And I really hope that it's gonna be just as good in the next Batman movies. But now on to the fourth winner of the 2024 Villains Award show, which is Dr. Dementus from the Mad Max Furiosa. Now I wouldn't really call him one of the best villains of all time, but this guy, he was just so much fun to watch in this movie. His super real look and wacky goofy personality was a breath of fresh air honestly, especially for the actor Chris Hemsworth. That legend is mostly known for playing the character 4, and everything else mostly just like happened. It's just there cause the guy from 4 brings attention and he's kinda hot. But both this movie and him as Optimus Prime showed how this guy, he's a genuine actor. He can play many different characters even if their personalities be super different from his main role, which is 4. I really wanted to give this award to Dr. Dementus because Chris, he definitely deserves a big respect for playing roles like this or Optimus Prime, while putting genuine love and passion into them as well. Now let's talk about a movie that just released right when I'm working on this award show, that being Sonic 3. IGN said that it was better than the first 2 Sonic movies and they gave the first 2 7 out of 10. Just guess right now, guess what they gave Sonic 3, the new movie, like rating from out of 10? Just based on the information I gave you. What do you think they gave it? 6 out of 10. Yeah, the movie that is better than the first 2 got 6, while the other 2 got 7. This movie is genuinely pretty amazing, and while Keanu Reeves basically carries everything he's in, he did a pretty banger job as Shadow, which was expected. But I will say that he's not the best character in this movie to me. Honestly, Eggman played by Jim Carrey, he do be carrying, no pun intended. I swear to the 5 realities. He has always been one of my favorite actors, and Jim was already pretty good in the first 2 movies. But in this one, especially in this one, I would say that he did a much better job than the other 2. Just like the villain in Mad Max, Jim Carrey was having so much fun in his role to the point that he went all out, making movies just so much more fun to watch. Then adding into this, the chemistry that has been made among him and Sonic thanks to the first 2 movies just made this character's story way more fun to follow. And I honestly believe that the acting alone deserves the best award of the 2024 villains and everything. Congrats! Good job, my man. Good job, you deserve it. And whoever that doesn't like agree with me or anything like that, go to IGN, work for them instead.
Impossible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
Are you?
The next winner is Anxiety. I know, pretty weird choice. Now I do know that it doesn't exactly count as a villain, but he's technically the antagonist of Inside Out 2. Give me a break, man. Most of the movies this year were such a piece of trash, garbage, terrible, disgusting, ew, How am I supposed to find a good villain? This movie help me. And Anxiety in this movie, I would say that it was brilliant. Not only from the great design direction they took with this emotion, making him have like a crazy electric-like effect onto his orange energy, which is like very fitting to the chaotic nature of anxiety emotion within a person. But like for the people who remember dealing with anxiety, especially at a very young age, which is pretty much like all of us, watching this movie hits right at home. This is such a relatable character, especially for the younger age people. It's gonna help them to understand themselves and their emotions better. Then especially the fact that everything Anxiety did within this movie was for the better of his human, yet it only ended up hurting her badly. It's just such an emotional and very tense story, believing in something only to in the end admitting that you were wrong. But what makes this even better is the fact that both Anxiety and our main character Joy were wrong. Both try to change their person in any way they can to kind of feel like it's better for them. They're gonna feel better this way by removing some memories and just things like that. Then what makes this even more lovely in the end is the fact that right on stopping Anxiety, things did not calm down. All the emotions had to come together and comfort this girl to calm her down and save her from an anxiety attack. Pixar proved with this movie that they were still one of the best at telling proper emotional stories. And I really hope that Disney doesn't milk them to the level of cooking something like Wish.
No, and you won't even miss.
Now here is our honorable mention, Dr. Doom. This guy was announced as a villain in 2024, but the movie he is in probably is gonna release out like 2026 or something like that. So like you may be asking, Scyan, the movie is not even out. You don't know nothing about Dr. Doom? Then why is he here? Why is Doctor Doom here? Well, because Doctor Doom in the Marvel Comics is easily one of their best villains, and he could genuinely be as good as Thanos was if Marvel doesn't mess up. The best way to see this is by Fortnite, how recently they brought Doctor Doom into their game as part of their storyline. And yep, if you didn't know, Fortnite actually does have a storyline, and it has had a storyline for like 7 years now, and it's actually a pretty good story too if you have never seen it. In Fortnite, you truly feel how powerful Doctor Doom is, with him doing things like killing Galactus, turning a dead person into his own personal throne, the heart of the Human Torch into the heater of his home, turning a man into a dang ball, and killing tons of super powerful Marvel heroes. This right here is how you cook up a villain. Show them just smacking people, killing, destroying, powerful, make me be tempted by them, make me be like, dang. He's kinda hot. I really hope they go just as hard with him in the Marvel movies. But the strength is not at all the best part of what makes him such a good villain. It's more so two other things I love about him. One being how smart he is, cooking up genuinely banger plans to fight against his enemies. To the point that Doom sometimes tricks people into taking themselves down, like tricking the Thing into wanting to become a human instead, and using that to badly hurt the Fantastic Four. He a lot of times likes to think and fight people in smart ways, rather than relying on brute force like how Thanos does it, which to me personally, that makes him somewhat cooler than Thanos. But then the much cooler thing about Doom is how he might be a villain, but my man is just so good at his job. Dr. Doom became the king of a small country named Latveria, and with the amazing mind he has, Dr. Doom turned the crime rates on that place into zero. He completely got rid of littering, gave every single person their jobs, free education and healthcare, while he also made sure that this place is safe and calm from danger. The guy might be a villain, but he's also one of the best leaders I have ever seen. I would say that because of this, be hyped for the Avengers movies coming up, especially from like how well Fortnite did Doctor Doom in their story. Except the ending. We do not talk about the ending.
No. Wait.
There is just no way that the Russo brothers are gonna fumble the bag, burn the kitchen, just not cook after the amazing job they did with the Infinity War and the Endgame. So I'm personally extremely excited for these movies. But now talking about Dr. Doom and how he had a grand storyline, a really good one in Fortnite if you wanna learn his story in Fortnite, or just the entire storyline of Fortnite and see how it's actually a really good story. You should give it a try, it's right here. I have the entire storyline of Fortnite, everything you need to see right here. So why are you still here? Go! Right now!